my Warden. I feel like I can fly. I'm pretty quick. So the reason I did this was because I didn't want to be holding my sprint button a lot to be able to keep up with enemies. And I figured that, you know, if I could keep up with enemies, I would be able to put out more pressure. I'd be able to chase them more. I would be able to stick on my target. And the only offside of this is the Warden has pretty expensive abilities, and those auras, it does drain down. So if I'm not mouse wanting, I only have, you know, I have a really low energy pool. So I'm, you know, if I can't mouse one or keep up with my enemies, then it's going to drain and I'm going to be at 0. So a lot of Wardens I've seen up their energy, which I think is really great. If you do a lot of shield storming, if you do a lot of charging, and you don't really get that many mouse ones off, you know, per se, I think it's really good to up your energy significantly. It's really just playstyle. The Warden is very tanky naturally, so you have a lot of armor to work with, and move around stats how you see fit and what works for you. I hope that answered your question, Sanctimonial. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the Assassin class here.
That is good.
The Assassin is a, you know, kind of more of she is a hit and run, high damage, 1v1 type of class. She's not a type of character that you can just get into a massive group of people and, you know, dominate. She excels at 1v1s, is very strong. And I'm going to demonstrate some of her abilities here. Okay, her first ability, her energy resource gaining ability, is called Strike, her mouse 1. It's very straightforward. It regains 15 energy and it deals 90 physical damage base. It also is, you get rewarded for positioning, so if I were to mouse 1 him in the back, it would do more damage than mouse 1ing him in the front. So hitting your enemy in the back with mouse 1, your strike is always going to be more damage and give you, you know, you're going to be able to put out more pressure because it does reward you for positioning. The second ability for the Assassin is Disorienting Strike, and what it does is it stuns, it pins the target in place if you're not in stealth. So right now I was not in stealth when I used this ability, so he is pinned and he can still cast or use abilities. I'll do that one more time. I'll pin him. And he can use abilities, or if he wanted to burden or use his escape, he could. So yeah, it also has an added effect. His first attack after the Disorienting Strike will miss his target. So why, if you go to cast on me, that attack missed and that attack hit, and that miss, it lasts for 6 seconds. So if you can't hit the Assassin or you don't have anyone to hit, that effect will wear off after 6 seconds. So it's not, you know, you don't have to stress over that too much, but it's always good to get that miss off as soon as possible so you can get back to what you were doing. Now, if I use this ability from stealth, it is a stun. And he can't use any abilities, and the miss effect is still there for 6 seconds. The next ability for the Assassin is called Puncture. Now what it does is it hits the target enemy, giving them a puncture. The puncture deals damage over time and slows movement speed significantly. Alright, why? So if you can try moving around a bit. See, he is really slow. I'm going to apply another one. That's the Assassin's main ability, to stick on a target, to keep them slowed. It is very costly for 20 energy, but it does a really high amount of damage and it stacks. So I can stack this to, you know, I can just keep stacking this as high as I want, And as you can see, it did a really high amount of damage. He's down to 55%. And so it's really strong. It's a really good way to keep on a target, just applying one puncture if that's all you have the energy to, and then maybe getting mouse ones off to regain energy. It's pretty much your bread and butter skill, and it also interlinks with another skill that we're going to talk about next, which is Pantera's Kiss. Now, Pantera's Kiss, you get rewarded for positioning. If you are behind someone and you hit them in the back, it will do more damage. What it does is it curses the target, and after 5 seconds deals an amount of damage based on punctures. So this ability works with puncture. It removes the puncture stack to deal more damage at the end of the curse. As you can see, he took 90 damage. So it's really strong. It's rewarded for positioning, so always try and get, for more damage, you can kiss in the... It does damage initially, and damage at the end of the effect. So it's a pretty strong ability for a short cooldown, and it doesn't cost much energy, so you can pretty much use it when you need to. It only has 10 energy cost. Now, when I finish talking about the rest of the abilities, I will go into some good combinations, because this is your hardest hitting ability, and is, if you can use the spell right, you'll be able to see a lot of damage coming out, and you'll be able to put out a lot of pressure. But until then, the next ability is Shadow Shift. You shift the enemy into the Shadow Realm along with yourself. It slows the target's movement speed, increases the assassin's movement speed based on punctures. So this ability also works off of punctures. What I can do is I can puncture him, and then realm him, and I'll be moving at a faster pace because he was punctured. It does not remove the puncture effects, and it takes just me and Y into the Shadow Realm. So if Sanctimonial were here DPSing, or if he were on the other team, I could use this ability to make it a 1v1 situation, to help myself escape by using it on the Shaman. If I was low health, I could use it to escape, so that, because Shamans don't do very much damage. Or I could use it very situationally if, hey guys, let's step outside of the hill, because that will make us lose. Right? Or I could use it as, if I see an enemy, say Y and Sanctimonial on the team, and I had a friendly Pyro cast Curse of Flame on to Y, that would not go off because he has a friendly nearby. But what I could do is I could realm him so that Curse explodes on him for full damage. So you can help out your team that way, help out those Pyros. You can keep someone from getting heals by using that, or you can use it as a CC to just CC the healer. So it's a very strong ability. It doesn't have too long of a cooldown, so using that effectively is really key on Assassin. The next ability is called Shadow Leap. It's also one of it's Assassin's Gap Closer and Escape Mechanism. You can cast this on allies and enemies. On allies and enemies. It teleports you behind the target, so you can help use this to get good positioning for your Pantera's Kiss or your mouse ones. Or if you needed it to escape, you could use it to your allies. So this is your main mobility skill to keep you very mobile and quick and help you get in and out of the battle. It does not have a very long cooldown. It's only 12 seconds, and it only costs 10 energy, so it's a very spammable skill, and it's very strong. You can use this ability from stealth, and it will not break your stealth. As such. So it's really good to get your disorienting strikes off with, because enemies cannot block behind them. So if you really needed to get a stun off, or if you really needed to get to a target and you didn't want them to block, you could Shadow Leap to them and use any ability you wanted while they were blocking, and it would go off. So it's a very strong ability for the Assassin. Now, the next ability is called Stealth. What it does is it makes the Assassin difficult to see, and your first attack from Stealth gives bonus damage based on the number of punctures. So
Go ahead and
basically,
stealth. I think we should go over Shimmer real quick here first, or what
right.
I call Shimmer.
You can.
You'll notice here a very slight liquid-like outline of Viz here on my screen. Assassins are not actually 100% invisible all of the time, just if they're a certain distance away from you. But then if they get too close to you, you'll see that liquidy shimmer around your character. So that's a dead giveaway for an assassin, usually about to open on you.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Stealth is really strong. It lasts until you have been taken out of stealth. You can block while in stealth, and if you block an attack, I blocked it. I didn't get pulled out of stealth there, so stealth is very strong. I blocked another attack. Now if I'm going to let this one go through, and I got pulled out because I didn't block that one. So you can stay in stealth until you take damage, or you get pulled out because of falling damage, or let's say you use a different ability. The only ability you can use from stealth that will not pull you out is Shadow Leap. So that is the assassin's, key. The assassin is a very squishy class, so it's key to use your stealth. It only has a 5-second cooldown, so it's very spammable, and it doesn't have an energy cost. Just be aware if you have a dot on you, or some kind of poison, or someone's focusing you, try not to, it's always good to either jump off of a wall and then while you're in the air stealth, or to shadow leap to a friendly target then stealth, or maybe even an enemy. It's just never re-stealth out in the open, or if you have a dot on you, because that will immediately bring you out if a good player is paying attention. We only have one more ability to talk about, and that is Smoke Cloud. Now, Smoke Cloud is a pretty unique ability. I am using the Focus A for it, so mine works a little bit differently, but Sanctimonial went sin. Sanctimonial, if you could just use your Smoke Bomb. It drops a smoke cloud around you, and you won't be enemies outside of the Smoke Bomb. Can you keep dropping it for us? If I were to aim inside, he would get a miss. If I were to step inside, if he can on the next Smoke Bomb drop, he would hit as such. So you can use this ability to as an escape. You can put it around a healer so they can't heal their team. You can use this ability very uniquely. Most of the time it's used as an escape, running away as such. You could drop Smoke Bomb, fall off the cliff, re-stealth. It's a key ability that assassins use. I'm using the variant, so we talked about Smoke Bomb. We can go into variants now. I casted it onto him. That's what the Smoke Bomb variant does, and it's pretty strong. A lot of assassins don't run this variant. I like to, just because I like casting it on people. It's really what you prefer. I don't think either one is stronger. There is a slight advantage to having it on yourself, because you can't cast the focus one on yourself, so a lot of sins use that one for that reason. Alright, the focus for Disorienting Strike, what it allows you to do is when you stun someone, it also knocks them a distance away, and it's kind of more gimmicky. Like, it's kind of a fun one. A lot of assassins don't use it because as soon as you stun, it knocks them 5 yards away. Pretty much like that. It's pretty much what it does. He would be stunned and I would have to travel to him. You could use this in a really funny way to knock people off cliffs or into a pit that kills them, or as such.
Troll pits?
Yeah, I have seen a couple sins that made some really strong plays where Pyromancer landed a flame wall and they positioned themselves to, when they stunned, they knocked the enemy into that flame wall, and it did a lot of damage. So that's one unique thing you can do. A lot of assassins don't generally run that, though. The second variant is for Pantera's Kiss. It does the same thing that the Pantera's Kiss does now, but it has a bonus effect to where any damage you deal during the